First of all, thank you so much, Monica. Thank you for being a part of Sid Talks. And the idea behind this is to highlight women entrepreneurship, all right? So that we can inspire other women, young entrepreneurs, to start their own businesses, and how entrepreneurship could create opportunities for others, right? And you are truly an inspiration. I've read about your company and what you do. Just amazing to see the kind of background what you've come from. I had so intriguing questions. I never had the kind of spirit what you have when I was young. But this is the story what we want to capture and show it to the young girls out there, young women out there, to showcase, you know what, if Monica can do it, you can do it as well. And we want you to be the torchbearer and say these stories to people so that you can inspire other people. And I also find that your business is so purposeful and there is a lot of meaning in the business what you've started, right? So we want you to narrate all these stories. As a result of this, while showing these stories, it should create opportunities for you, and you are able to create opportunities for others.
Right.
Good? Awesome. All right. So welcome to the show. And what I would like to start off with is, why don't you go ahead and quickly introduce yourself and about your business, about where you're from. Tell us where you're from and what college did you go to? Give us some stories.
So I am from RV College of Engineering. I'm an electrical graduate, completed in 2017. And right after, I thought that it wasn't just about the right time to start up, but then I literally had no choice. I had to solve the problem, or I would just regret for a very long period of time. So instead, I just took the leap of faith right after.
Awesome, awesome. So you're originally from Bangalore? Is that where you're from?
No, I am half from Nepal and half from Bihar. My mother comes from Nepal. I was born there, but then we shifted here. And my father was in Indian Air Force. So we migrated for a good 20 years all across India. And the final place where we settled was in Bangalore. The best place to settle, of course, because at that time the weather was beautiful. But now we're kind of on the other side of the coin, where the weather is kind of spoiling, of course. But still the best place for startups.
Very nice. How long have you lived in Bangalore?
I think it's my 12th year.
12th year now? Okay. So with that being said, right, there are two stories which I want to quickly tell you. Children of people from the forces, right, from Indian Air Force or Army. I've had several of my friends who come with that kind of background, and specifically because they travel from one place to another, they are so immersed about various different cultures, various different languages. One of the things what I see as a trait, what you have, and as a result of which you become an entrepreneur, is because of the cultural immersiveness, what you've had going from one place to another. That's a very important trait to have. And in the modern day, what we talk about is going to a place which is completely unknown and getting yourself fit into that culture and getting to know things. So I see that coming. And the other thing is, I also had to tell you this, you're from RV College of Engineering, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm from Gausia College of Engineering. Gausia is like about 25, 30 kilometers away towards Mysore, all right? And back in the day, I used to play cricket, and Anil Kumble is one of the alums of RV, and I played along with him back in the day. So I just wanted to share a common thread.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you. So tell me, you completed your engineering, and I want to make sure that we tag all of RV students so that there is an amazing entrepreneurial story coming right out of engineering. The key is the curiosity what I have is, as soon as you came out of college, how did you figure out about the entrepreneurial journey? How did it happen?
Well, there's only two things which came handy: a lot of grit and Google.
Okay.
So every time I was stuck, I would just Google it. And frankly, I'm not sure if it was the culture in RV College, but we were very driven towards application-oriented engineering. So from the first
Got
year,
it.
we were in different clubs, we were making cars, we were making different products related to sustainability or solar or electrical. We were designing real life projects. We had 2 projects, like the complete entire projects to be built per year. So by the end
Yeah.
of 4 years, we had 8 projects, which could literally be taken out to the market. And most of these projects, which I took it as an opportunity to kind of explore different facets of problem statements related to the society. And
Yeah.
that's it kind of clicked when I was in final year, and I came across the problem statement of street lighting, and I figured out
Yeah.
that there are literally 2 worlds. One is the
Mm.
developed, shiny part of street lighting, which is talking about IoT, making it smarter, making it amazingly beautiful. Whereas the other part
Yeah.
of the country, which is pitch dark, which has no
Yeah.
illumination whatsoever. So taking out all this smartness out of the metropolitan cities and then making it seep through to the areas which actually require some amount of access to opportunities, and lighting, you
Yeah.
might not believe that actually gives them the access to opportunities,
Yeah.
in terms of making them feel secure. they uh,
Yeah.
they many people travel to their sites. They
Yeah.
can showcase their projects for longer durations of time, at late night, like how it happens in the city, which actually does not happen in most of the villages. So
Yeah.
kind of realized that that was entirely missing. And then I would actually like to remember this particular um, innovation competition held in RV
Hmm.
College in my final year, which we were
Yeah.
fortunate enough to win. But
Mm.
it did not just open our doors towards uh, just being tagged as the best project.
Yeah.
We kind of started thinking about how could it be marketed and how could it actually solve the problems. So when we were
Yeah.
presenting in front of juries, there were juries from industrial backgrounds who were asking real life
Right.
questions as to why would I buy this particular solution of yours. I mean, there
Yeah.
already are 100 different lighting solutions. So that is
Yeah.
when kind of clicked, and the rebel inside kind of roared out. And
Very
um, it's just about
awesome.
taking that
Awesome.
first step, frankly.
Very nice. Very
Once
nice.
you take that first step, things
Awesome.
kind of pave way.
Very nice. So when you came up with the startup idea, who was instrumental in fueling you, stating that, hey, go Monika, go, let's go ahead and get this business started? So because you're a young adult, just coming out of college, you've gone through all these innovation competitions and all of that good stuff, and then somebody has to. So today in this generation, while majority of the students, the way they think is day one hiring, am I going to get a job at one of the top corporates? As opposed to, so money is the driver, correct? Money is the driver where in majority of the cases. So how is it that you were able to take that out of the equation and say, you know what, it's not about the money, but it's about entrepreneurship? Who drove you to that decision?
Nobody can condition you to be that way. Sid, if I can tell
Okay.
you that, nobody can teach you to be that way, or to be rebellious, or to be the kind of person who wants to create a social impact. You kind of get
Yeah.
inclined towards it over time, over a very long period of time, and that is
Very
when
nice.
you kind of stop shutting the side of the brain which kind of keeps shouting, telling you to solve problems when you see problems. And then there's other part of the brain which keeps telling, oh, come on, this is not going to be useful to your career. Probably you should just
Got
make
it.
money and lead a happy life. So instead of
Yeah.
shutting this part of the brain, people kind of tend to go towards this path. So it's very
Awesome.
small decisions which you keep taking over time. It's not that one huge drastic step. So
Very
as
nice.
you rightly mentioned, traveling all across India, meeting so many people, seeing geographies kind of helped me identify that there are some problems which are almost everywhere. And
Yeah.
some problems just need to be solved, and somebody has to stand up. And I mean,
Absolutely.
there's not going to be one best particular time for you to start up?
Very well said. Very well said. So the most important thing which I wanted to ask you is about coming out of school. How did you, how is it that you thought about purpose and starting a business with a purpose? Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so I'm articulating this for the third time, but
sure, no problem.
Try it in a more concise and better manner. So yeah, can you ask that question again? I'm sorry.
Sure, absolutely. Coming out of school, all right. While majority of the students think about day one, you know, they think about day one hires, getting a huge, the driver is only around money. But for you to start an entrepreneurial journey, and that too an entrepreneurial journey with a purpose, right? How did you come up with that purpose? And from what I understand is your business is solving a particular problem. So talk to us about the purpose and what is the problem what you're solving.
So there's always a part of the brain which keeps telling you to go out there and solve a particular problem, right? Like when there was this, you read in news about ozone depleting in a certain area, and then you keep thinking about how different problems are being caused because of whatever waste we generate, because of the waste my apartment generates and the waste my city generates, and then the part of the brain keeps telling you to go out there and solve it actually. But then the other part of the brain kind of tells you that even if you don't solve it, it's kind of be all right. Like you are going to have your part of the life absolutely fine. So it's this part of the brain which tells you to not go out there. You have to keep kind of shutting. That's what I did. And that's what somehow I was taught to do, or it was intuitive, because intuitively, definitely you keep getting a lot of these thoughts to go out there and solve problems, right? So I pursued one of those parts. One of the parts which was really close to my heart. One statement which I cannot forget is when my mother keeps mentioning, as soon as it's past 7 o'clock or something, and we have heard this since childhood. Okay, it's too late now. Let it be. Do it tomorrow. Let it be for now. And basically, you're not allowed to step out anytime after 7 or 8 p.m. Especially if you're a girl child. So it kind of became a very strong emotion in me. That me being, living the best kind of life in the best kind of metropolitan cities, with the best kind of security around of Air Force quarters. Imagine the areas with zero access to light, zero access to security, and so off-grid. People must be, literally shutting their life post 7 p.m. and that's not something you would want to do. You have 24 hours for a reason. And that's one of the things which really stuck out. Sorry.
Sure. You've been talking for a long time, so you need to get some water. But thank you so much for doing this.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I mean, seriously.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure.
So as I was mentioning, this particular problem statement was so close to my heart. Another problem which definitely stuck out was, imagine if I tell you that Bangalore itself has 2 lakh extra street lights. Extra meaning that the same amount of light would be illuminated with the same quality of illumination. But then you just have 2 lakh extra lights out there. And this particular number of lights could just be lifted and installed in these off-grid areas and made those areas so much more safer. And that's one of the problems which I saw, which became a very core problem statement to be solved, which was the undemocratic distribution of light. And the major problem statement here obviously is lack of planning. Majority of the technologies are being chosen on the basis of cost and not on the basis of the USP or the technical viability. Also, we come from a country which is so hardwired to think in a certain manner, in a certain bureaucratic manner. Getting your technology to the right customer set, especially if your technology has the customer set like government or like bigger corporates, it kind of again becomes a little tricky to fit into their cost-effective mindset, because of course they are going to judge particular technology at the end of the day according to their return on investment, their investment values, their costs. So the solution had to be something which could solve the problem and also be cheaper than the current alternatives and drastically better.
Very good.
So we came up with a patented light fixture that basically can cover larger area and illuminate larger space. So imagine a stretch of road which would require 5 conventional lights. Instead of that, our light, only 3 of it would be required to illuminate the same amount of area. So you're saving 2 lights, 40% of the money upfront.
Very nice. So I had a follow-up question on that. So again, the reason why I wanted to ask this question is because growing up, I never had the idea of patents and how it worked and things like that. So how did you get to know about patents? So do you have coaches, mentors, connections, university connections, school connections? So when you had this idea as a startup, did you go through any ecosystem which helped you think through this in this way?
I just barely studied for this particular examination under my college curriculum called IPR. And that bare minimum knowledge kind of enabled me not just to draft my own patent, but also understand the entire process, including how much cost would it take. So it's that simple. It's literally, I'm not boasting this up, but then it's literally that simple. And we were given that particular course in the curriculum itself. And I'm not sure if it is mandatory in other parts of the country or not, but then definitely should be.
Yeah. So is it patent pending or patent approved?
So it's patent pending. I think
patent pending. Okay.
Patent published next year because it's been 4 years.
Awesome. So you applied it on your own without any attorneys or anything of that nature. You did it completely, the application process by yourself.
The majority part of it. I drafted more than 80% of it. Definitely, it was my first trial. So you need a lot of other processes, which includes DSC, a very lengthy process. But then currently, I am equipped to draft and file any kind of patent.
Awesome. That's amazing. So I never knew this. Predominantly in small sizes, medium sizes businesses, the way entrepreneurs think is like a patent, that's a subject which we do not know. And you could be a subject matter expert helping other entrepreneurs to think through, hey, you know what, when you don't have adequate resources and you don't have enough funding, you could apply patent on your own, and you should be in a position to write an article or publish something stating that, hey, reach out to me and put in some resources to as a starting point for entrepreneurs to think in that direction. So outstanding. That's a great learning for me as well. All right, very well. The next question which I wanted to ask you is, you've been an award-winning firm. You've won so many awards. Which is the most meaningful? So first of all, what does award mean to you, right? And the second thing which I wanted to ask you is, what is the most meaningful award what your firm has ever won? And how does it mean to you?
What is the first question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so your firm has been an award-winning firm. The number of awards what you've won over the years, right? Is there a particular award which is a very, very meaningful award for you?
I remember this particular because it was our first award. Definitely, it stands out the most. We were awarded the best energy efficient technology in Inspire 2018. By Mr. R.K. Singh, Honorable Minister of Power, and we were only 1 year in the journey. So being known as the best energy efficient technology kind of made it clear in my head as well that probably it has some potential, and all the sleepless nights and all the pushing and all the grit kind of at least started kicking off in the right direction. it holds a really strong place, because I remember being called out on the stage, and in the background, the video was playing, our company video,
Mm-hmm.
which I had edited the night before, till 4 a.m. And I remember how horrible it was. But then just the sheer satisfaction of seeing it being displayed on a really huge screen, and all that
Yeah.
hard work being recognized, that definitely kind of pushed us a long way.
That's a very, very powerful story, and I can tie where chords meet, where your thoughts and my thoughts meet. That's the same journey what I've been through as well. Now we have a large marketing team which does all of that, but winning that first award, putting that video together, making it work, and when we don't have enough resources, and it means so much. And these are powerful stories which you got to say to other entrepreneurs, and this is what it's all about. This show is about bringing those stories to life. Question for you is around where do you see your company going next? What are you envisioning? What is your vision for the next 5 years, 10 years? What are you thinking?
We definitely have a very long-term plan, but we have a very strong short deadline plan, which is by 2022, we want to make 10 million square feet area safer. And along with that, we want to save about 600 megawatt of electricity and reduce 20,000 ton of carbon emission. And that's something we are really strongly focused on currently, because it's a slightly difficult to target kind of goal. But then that's what goals are for. I mean, obviously. Along with that, as I mentioned before as well, we work very closely with a lot of small-scale manufacturers and on-site supporters, and we kind of try to create employment opportunities with them. So we want to be associated with 200 such MSMEs by 2022, along with this entire making 20 million square feet area safer goal.
Very nice, very nice. So such powerful stories, what I've heard, personally coming with a lot of grit, coming with a lot of curiosity, coming with a lot of drive to make something happen, creating opportunities for people, a purpose-driven business, a business which is so important, specifically for the underprivileged areas where there is not enough lighting. I'm really touched, all right? With that being said, I'm so touched by your business, and when I looked up your website and the products what you have, we have close to about 4 facilities back in India, in Trichy. We would love to see how is it that we can be your customer, all right? And we would want to see, we have a new construction facility which is coming up, and we want to see how is it that we can use your lighting, right? And so that we can take the stories to other people and say, hey, this is a business with a purpose, and we want to showcase that how is it that we are supportive of businesses who have a purpose, a strong technology, a solution which really solves a major purpose, all right? So that's the way I'll put it. Now, with that being said, what is your message for your customers or your clients?
One thing definitely which kind of outshines is, I can relate this to myself. We were somehow wired to think that the expensive alternative is better, or the branded alternative is better, or the foreign high quality ones were actually better. But then we kind of forgot that we, as Indian homegrown technologies and in-house built technologies, have the same amount of technical viability, and we are literally very strong. Some of the startups that I see are very strong in their particular sectors, and I would really urge all our prospective customers to think with that perspective, to kind of judge every particular company and technology according to their capabilities, rather than their contemporaries who hold a very strong brand value, which has been earned for, I don't know, 100 years. We cannot wait for 100 years for ourselves to be equivalent to them, right? So I would really urge everybody to kind of think with a perspective that technology has a certain place and cost effectiveness has a certain place, and most of the decision
Absolutely.
making has to be made around specific proofs of that.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Super. A parting message. What I would like you to, what is your message for young entrepreneurs? This show is all about empowering women, inspiring young women entrepreneurs to start their own businesses. You have such a powerful journey. So I'd like to know, what is your message for young entrepreneurs?
I would like to share a particular moment. I remember this particular time when it had just been about 3 months in the journey, and I was not very sure. My parents were not very sure because, of course, we don't come from a business background. I was struggling. I was literally struggling a lot because the amount of learnings you're going to get in the first couple of months is going to be drastic. It's going, because we are not kind of wired or trained in a way to utilize the skills which are required to become an entrepreneur. In the 18 odd years of education that I had gained, never was I equipped to utilize my leadership skills or my hiring skills or accounts for that matter. So I had to literally learn everything from scratch, and let alone the very basic skill of going to your bank manager and asking for a particular form. So it is going to be really difficult in the first couple of months, say 3 to 6 months. But then once you, your learnings will keep going. It's not that your learnings will drastically reduce post that, but then you just have to stay very strong with your grit, and you just not have to let that component of disbelief overshadow the rest of your grit. It's really important.
I just wanted to add it. Very interesting point. What you mentioned is about grit, just pushing it forward and making it happen. But there is one interesting point which I wanted to highlight is there is help which is always available. All right, and that is so either you have mentors, coaches who can help you. When you mentioned about the bank, of course, even when we started off the business, we had similar stories, right? I never came from a finance background or a banking background, nothing. So with that being said, there are mentors, coaches which are available, who are available to give you an idea. Plus, what we are trying to do is there is an entrepreneurial community like this who can give you direction and point you in the right direction to go and do that, right? And I'm so glad that you also volunteered. People can reach out to you on DM on Instagram at mo_JHA, where they can reach out to you on your social channels and ask you, so that we can really help other young entrepreneurs in terms of their learning, which can be accelerated. So thank you so much, Monika, for being a part of our show. For all the audience, if you would like to reach out to Monika, you could directly reach out to her on her social channels. To all the audience, again, if you would like to ask specific question about this particular interview, you had any follow-up question, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions. You could follow us on sidahmed.com or any of the social channels, or you could DM me as well. Until next time, the next amazing entrepreneur whom we are going to bring on the show. Thank you so much, Monika. We are really touched by your business. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, awesome. You take care.
Great. You too. Have a nice day.